Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about all of the books that I read in March. Before we begin, Isaac is here and he's usually not here. I don't like this. He's behind the camera, but he's making sure that everything is going swimmingly. But if I look at him, it's because he's there. Okay, but also he's reading Harry Potter right now, so that's good. That makes me happy. All right, so March. The first book I read was Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson. It was very plot driven, which was nice, but since we didn't get a lot of character traits, I couldn't connect really with the characters. The two main characters, they had nice banter and they had some good tension. There was one spicy scene in it, so that wasn't, that bad. I ended up rating this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Then I went on to the book Tell Me 3 Things by Julie Buxbaum, and this is a young adult romance novel. It is about 2 high school students. The girl, she had just moved to this new school. She was getting emails from an anonymous person trying to befriend her. There's that storyline on top of the just, normal high school day-to-day storyline. I felt like this book was very predictable. I could see what was going to happen at the end, at the beginning of the book. I don't know if that's just because these are the type of books I like to read or what, but I thought it was predictable, but it was also very good. I ended up rating this a 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, there's that book. All right, now the next book I read was In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. I follow the YouTuber Sarah Caroli, and she has just started a book club, and this was the book club pick for March. So I read it along with her, and that was, kind of cool. This book is about Noah and Shay. Shay had just moved back to her step-grandmother's tulip farm. The neighboring farm was owned by Noah. And so when Shay and Noah were in high school, they lived on these farms. So this is like a second chance romance. Childhood friends to enemies to lovers in a way. They didn't talk, so really more second chance. Small town romance. It just goes through, how Shay's dealing with all of this and how Noah's dealing with all of this. And I will say the beginning was very, very slow. You introduced it and then there was nothing for about half the book. And then the end, the last fourth of it, right here, was really good. Okay, it wrapped everything up nicely. It had a great ending. I ended up rating this at 3.5 stars altogether. I did enjoy this once I got halfway through. The first half was slow. All right, then I read The Noshow by Beth O'Leary, and this book was not what I expected it to be. It's about 3 women, and they all get stood up by the same guy on Valentine's Day. So it kind of takes you through each of their point of views throughout the book. And at the end, you get the resolution. Obviously, you get the resolution at the end of a book. But you get the resolution, and it was not what I was expecting at all. So that was very nice to read about something that I had no idea it was coming. Especially in a romance book. Usually you can predict what's going to happen. There's, the guide in a romance book, but this one didn't follow that, and that was really fun to read. Then I read ACOTAR. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and this has been on my shelf for a long time. Isaac got me the whole box set for Christmas, and they've been sitting there just waiting to be read, and I finally picked up this book during my spring break, and I read this book in 3 days. I'm looking for a big grown-up word to use. Wary. I was wary about picking up this book. I haven't read a fantasy book since Harry Potter, and that was a way long time ago, but I'm very glad I picked this up. It is about Feyre, and she is a human. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, she ends up in the fairy world with Tamlin, and this one at least is loosely based on Beauty and the Beast, and you can tell where the similarities are, but you can also tell where the differences are. And once we get to the halfway through, this chunk right here approximately, it really picks up, and there's lots and lots of action, and I stayed up till 2 a.m. one night finishing this book because I could not put it down. So then, immediately, I woke up I read this until 2 a.m. I put it down, I slept, and then immediately I picked up A Court of Mist and Fury. And this one this one I think is better than this one. I forgot to rate this one. This one I rated a 5-star. Okay, it was so good. I am so glad I picked it up. This one also I rated, all right, a 5-star. This one she's thicker, but this one goes through immediately. Like, it picks up. Oh, I don't know how to explain this without spoiling it. To go right into the other. This one I did like better than this. I rated them both 5 stars. This one might drop down to like a 4.5 once I finish the series. I'm not sure yet, but I did like this one better. Like I said, it picks up right after A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it follows Feyre as she ventures into her journey in the fairy world and kind of what's going on. I feel like I'm rambling on this, but I enjoyed it so much, and I'm still reading the series, so I haven't, processed the whole series yet, but this book was good. I liked it. It just kind of went through their life, There was action, but it just kind of, a nice little life, and then this one also brought in the romance big time, so that was nice. I like the romance in the fantasy books. That was it. That's all I read in March. That went by fast. I thought I read more. Oh well. So, let's move on to what I want to read in April. Now, you might be saying, well, Leslie, in your last video, in your February wrap-up, when you picked your March reads, you picked 2 books from your little jar, and you didn't see those on my list, now did you? We picked this one, At First Sight by Nicholas Sparks and Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, and I didn't talk about these because guess what? I didn't read them. So, those little slips of paper went back into my jar. So, we might pick it again. We might pick something new. Okay? So that's where we're at. Really, I didn't read these because I read these. So, I really should have read at least one of them before I started the big series, but we didn't, and I don't regret it, so it's fine. Now, I'm only going to pick one book out of the jar. So, Isaac here is going to come and he is going to pick one book out of our jar for me to read this month. Go for it. He's going to mix them up as they all fall. All right, what do we get? We got Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. So we have another Colleen Hoover book to read. So hopefully we get to it. It is right up there. Do you want to get it? Should I get it? Isaac's going to get it for me because he's such a great husband. Or he's going to break everything. That's fine too. All right, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This is one of the books I'm going to read in April. And yes, I will read it this time, I promise. I'm also, on my April TBR, I have a couple more for you. Okay, a couple more for you. So, as you know, I've, started the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So, I'm already about a little over halfway through the 3rd book, A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm loving this one so far. This one might actually be my favorite right now. I'm not sure yet. We still have a long way to go, but I'm really enjoying this. So, and I think, I'm on book 3, book 4 of Court of Frost and Starlight. This one's shorter. This one's like a little novella, right? So I'll probably get to this one too. This one still scares me because it's the biggest one out of all of them, and 2, it's told in a different point of view. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. But this one's written a different point of view. And that kind of scares me because I'm used to the point of view that the rest of it is written in, so I'm not sure how we feel about that. And I know, like, all of the booktube people and book talk people that I watch, like, they get through book 4, they start book 5, and they either DNF it, they push it off till later, they don't start it right away, so I don't want to do that, but I have a feeling I might do that because I kind of miss romance too. This does have romance in it, but I kind of want just a normal little, romance book. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then the last book I have for my April TBR is the book club pick from Sarah's book club. We're reading Once Upon a Broken Heart this month. This one is also a fantasy book, young adult fantasy. It's like the fairy tale reimagining type thing going on. I'm very excited to read this one. I also have the second one, The Ballad of Never After. Yes, The Ballad of Never After. So I have both of them. This series actually comes after the Caraval series, but you don't have to read the Caraval series before you read this series. And I've heard that this series is better, so I'm just kind of skipping ahead. Okay, we might read Caraval, you know, later in the year, but right now we're going to stick with these. So that is it for my March wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I don't know how to end these. It's been too long. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please like, comment, subscribe, and do all that YouTubey stuff. I hope you keep reading because I know I am. Thank you for watching. Nessie Reads.